If you are a female runner over 45 and you feel like your training just doesn't respond the way it used to, this is going to make a lot of sense. Maybe you're still disciplined, you're still motivated, you're still showing up, but the margin for error just feels smaller. You recover slower, niggles last longer. One hard week can set you back for 2. And here's the truth. It's not because you cannot improve anymore. It is because the rules have changed slightly. And if you're still training like they have not, you will keep feeling stuck. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact longevity first system we use with thousands of female runners over 45 who are training with us here at Coach Parry, who still want to stay healthy and still get faster. First, we need to understand what actually changes after 45. Because once you understand the mechanism, the solution becomes obvious. After 45, recovery timelines lengthen. That does not mean you can't train hard. It just means that the spacing of stress matters more. Muscle mass naturally declines unless you actively fight for it. Tendon elasticity reduces slightly, which means tissues tolerate sharp spikes in loads less well. Hormonal shifts can affect your sleep quality, thermoregulation, connective tissue resilience, and perceived effort. None of this means fragility. It means that precision matters. And most plans online are not built with precision for this stage of life. They are built for average recovery curves. So if you apply average recovery rules to a body that now needs slightly longer adaptation cycles, you will overflow. Let me show you what I mean. I want you to have a look at this glass on the table. This glass is your total recovery capacity. Every run pours water in. Hard sessions pour faster, but easy runs still pour. Strength work pours, bad sleep pours, work stress will pour, life stress will pour, and after 45, you often wake up with the glass already partially filled. So the problem is not intensity alone. The problem is pouring without checking the level. Most runners think the solution is to do less, and that's not it. The solution is 2 things. 1, build a bigger glass, and 2, pour more intelligently. That is the system. The system is made of 4 parts. Let's break it down for you. Part 1 is the unglamorous part. It's capacity, and it's about building the bigger glass. And that is the most important. Capacity means your tissues, muscles, and nervous system can absorb stress and recover from it. For female runners over 45, that starts with strength training, twice per week. Not optional, but also not aggressive, consistent. Muscle mass protects your joints. Stronger tendons tolerate load better. Neuromuscular strength protects stride mechanics when fatigue sets in. Then, aerobic volume needs to be stable before it increases. Everyone thinks that getting faster means running faster. It doesn't. It means running easy enough to build your aerobic capacity over time. No dramatic jumps, no emotional mileage increases just because you felt good on that day. Your body adapts to what it can repeat, not to what it can survive once. Here is the rule. If you want to run faster, and I quote in Tutu, one of our coaches here at Coach Parry, you must earn the right to run faster. You earn it through tissue resilience, not willpower. Now, number 2 is signals. After 45, internal feedback matters more than an external metric. So, simplify that. Every morning, ask yourself 3 questions. How do my legs feel? How did I sleep? And how stressed am I? If 2 of those have compromised, you adjust your training. I'm not saying don't run. I'm saying adjust. Not because you are weak, but because intelligent training protects adaptation windows. Here's what most runners do instead. They see a pace target and they override everything else. But pace targets do not know if you had broken sleep. They do not know if stress is high. They do not know if your connective tissue is slightly irritated. But your body does. And when you ignore it repeatedly, overflow happens quietly. Now, the next part of the system, decisions. This is where many experienced female runners sabotage themselves. They push hard sessions on tired legs because it's what is written down, or they overcook easy days because that feels good. Both of those things fill the glass too quickly. So we use rules. If you feel strong and fresh, enjoy it. Do the plan as it is prepared, not turning an aerobic session into a race. If you feel average though, execute it as written. Know that this is good for future adaptation. If you feel off, downgrade that without guilt, because protecting tomorrow is more important than proving something today. Now here is a key point that unlocks everything. Easy running is not about being slow. It's about preserving recovery currency. After 45, recovery currency is more valuable. So your easy pace must truly be easy. This allows you to do your hard sessions really hard. You should be able to speak in full sentences. You should finish feeling better than when you started. If your easy runs drift upward repeatedly, you are slowly filling the glass without noticing. Then you blame age when the hard sessions feel terrible. It's not age, it's accumulated fatigue. If this is resonating and you want a structured walkthrough of exactly how to implement this week by week, we run a free online masterclass specifically for female runners over 45. We go deeper into strength structure, pacing discipline, hormonal considerations, and how to build speed safely in this stage of life. You can scan the QR code on screen or use the link in the description. It is free and it will give you clarity instead of guesswork. Now, part 4 is the biggest mindset shift: consistency. Now, consistency isn't about perfection or discipline. Consistency is about sustainability, and sustainability requires flexibility. So instead of one rigid weekly structure, use 2 versions: a minimum week and a standard week. A minimum week keeps momentum going during stress. A standard week is your baseline. This protects long-term adaptation because female runners over 45 do not improve from one perfect block of training. They improve from day on day, week on week, month on month, without interruption. And that is the real advantage. When you remove injury cycles, your training compounds. When your training compounds, speed returns. Not because you forced it, but because you supported it. Let's zoom out a little bit. Why does this work? Because you are no longer fighting physiology, you're working with it. You're spacing stress properly. You're reinforcing your tissues intentionally. You're protecting your recovery windows. You're removing emotional decision making, and that changes everything. Here's what usually happens when female runners over 45 apply this. Constant low-grade niggles will reduce. Energy stabilizes and confidence returns. Then, speed begins to show up almost as a side effect, not because you chased it, but because you built the foundation properly. If you have watched this far, you are exactly who this channel is for. So subscribe if you have not yet, because the next conversation is important. A lot of female runners over 45 stay healthy, train consistently, build strength, and still feel like their race pace never shows up on race day. They feel fit, but not sharp. And that's not just age, and it's not just fitness. It's a specific mistake in how faster running is structured after 45. In the next video, we are going to break that down and show you how to unlock speed safely without overflowing your glass. Watch that next.